Alright guys, it's that time. We're getting ready to start on the dressing. So I wanted to let you know what you'll need. This is part 2 of our Thanksgiving, of Zesty Pooh's Thanksgiving. This is about 4 cloves of garlic that I chopped up. I also chopped up green bell pepper. And you can do a large one or you can do 1.5 of the small ones, okay? This is half of a yellow onion that I cut up. And this is 3 celery stalks. You're also going to need a bag of seasoning. Of classic stuffing. You can get whatever kind of stuffing you want. I like Pet Ridge Farm. You're going to need chicken stock, chicken broth, whatever. You're going to need eggs. And you are going to need buttermilk. You are also going to need a can of cream of mushroom, a can of cream of chicken. Here we go. And another can of cream of chicken. So you want 2 cans of cream of chicken. Also, you're going to need garlic powder. You're going to need onion powder. You're going to need black pepper. You're going to need poultry seasoning. Oh, this is ground sage, but you're going to need that too. And you're going to need poultry seasoning. I'm going to also leave the details in the description box. And you're also going to need a homemade cornbread. Now this I use from the back of the box of one of my boxes of cornmeal. So whatever cornmeal you have, they usually come with a recipe. Just follow that recipe and utilize that. So let's get into this video, y'all. We're going to start out and I'm going to melt a stick of butter in my cast iron. And I'm going to saute these vegetables until they get soft. And the reason why I like to saute mine in butter is because I know some people add butter to their dressing, but we don't have to do that because it'll already be butter that'll be coming from the vegetables. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start out by sauteing my garlic. And I'm just going to do that until it is flagrant. And then I'm going to add the rest of the vegetables in. You definitely don't want to burn your garlic. And flagrant is literally a matter of 30 seconds or so. It don't take long. That's why it's important to mince your garlic up real good. I use fresh garlic for my recipe only. If you are more accustomed to using the garlic in a jar, that's fine. I'm just adding my vegetables. And I'm going to cook them low and slow. I got it on a medium. You don't want to burn them. And you don't want all the butter to drain out, but rather you just want to cook it until they get soft. And that shouldn't be in there. So this is what you're looking for. You want it to be soft. Not too mushy, but you do want it to be soft. See? And what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the heat off. Y'all probably hear Camden in the background. It's all right. He in there taking a bath. Y'all know it's Thanksgiving. Children are at home. So I'm going to let this... Ooh, that was hot. I grabbed that without a mitt. For beginners, Rule 101. Never grab a hot pan that's been cooked in cast iron with no mitt. All right, now we have that cornbread, and all I'm doing is I'm just taking my hands and I'm just breaking it up. You want to break it up as much as possible. You don't want any chunks left in here at all. So now that I've got my cornbread mixed up for the most part, broken down for the most part, now this is where I'm going to hit it with this bag of stuffing mix. And you just want to, mix it in there, get it in there. Because this is how you're going to be able to determine how much softener you're going to need. And when I say softener, I mean like chicken stock, your creams. And really for moisture, I just keep adding chicken stock. Because I don't feel like I can have too much chicken stock, but you can't have too much buttermilk or whatever. So now I'm just going to add a can of cream of chicken. And I don't know if I've done a video with cream of chicken. I think I have, but I don't like the bits of chicken. So I often, and I'm using a plastic spoon. For those of you with sensitivities, I am making sure I'm not doing too much scraping. So I like to take my chicken piece. Then honestly, the chicken ain't gonna hurt nothing. I think I just don't like it because I feel like the chicken is fake chicken. So I'm gonna add the other can of cream of chicken. Now I'm gonna add that can of cream of mushroom. Now this is where I start utilizing my seasoning. I'm gonna start out with a teaspoon of black pepper. And what you do is you're gonna check it as you go, so that way you don't put too much. This is my onion powder, and I'm gonna start out with probably about a teaspoon of it. Now I'm going to start with my garlic powder. I'm gonna put a teaspoon of it. Now mind you don't need salt because this stuff right here is salty, and so is the cornbread. Now I'm going to put about a teaspoon of poultry seasoning. Now I'm going to put about a teaspoon and a half of sage. And use your measurements because I know how much I like in mine. But you don't want to overdo any of this. You don't want to miss it. Now I'm going to add 2 cracked eggs. And now I'm going to add a cup of buttermilk. And I'm also going to add a cup of chicken stock. And now what I'm going to do after I add this cup of chicken stock, I'm going to add in my vegetables because see, that way whenever I put my vegetables in, it won't scramble these eggs. But I'm probably going to give it a nice little mix first. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give it a nice little mix so you can see the dressing starts to form. So now what I'm doing is I'm just going to add those veggies right in there. And you want to make sure you get all that butter because that's just going to be flavor overload. They still a little warm, but they not hyphen hot. You don't want to put it in there hyphen hot because then you're taking a chance of scrambling your eggs. And I do not put any meat in my dressing just because I just don't like it. So now you just want to mix all this up in here together. And you see how it's stiff? This is where I start adding chicken stock because I don't want it to be stiff because that's an indication that it's going to be dry. So what I did, I just added probably about a 1/3 cup of chicken stock. See, this is the consistency you want it. And you can feel it in the, when you're stirring it, you can feel it. You can tell it's kind of tough, but you want to make sure that it's going to be moist. So I'm going to add probably a little bit more buttermilk. Probably about 2 tablespoons. And you know, you just kind of play with it. You just want to feel it. Yeah, that's what I'm looking for right there. So in the meantime, I'm adding some water to my cast iron pan. And I'm going to put it on the bottom rack of the oven while the dressing cooks. And that way it'll add moisture to the dressing. So it'll still be firm. It'll still be the way you want it. But it'll have that extra component of moisture to it. Alright, y'all, I just took this bad boy out of the oven. I want you to see what I can see. Look at that. Perfect. Now, it is going to set a little more, but it is perfect. Take a bite. Ooh. Focus, focus, focus. There you go. Alright, y'all. This is part 2. Zesty Pooh Crew. I'm going to leave you with something to grow on. Hopefully you try this cornbread dressing. It's bomb.com. I love it. I love it. I love it. Give it a try and tell me what you like. It says, I'm going to leave you with a little something to grow on. For those of you who've never been here, I apologize. I like to read my viewers something for them to grow on and lighten their mood. And the positive affirmation today says, don't forget you're human. It's okay to have a meltdown. Just don't unpack and live there. Cry it out. Then refocus on where you're headed. I love you guys.